Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin followed through to the downside today. It briefly even broke below the, the Monday low? No, the Wednesday low and the Sunday low here at around 26,590. However, it was not a sustained break. It has since then recovered quite a bit. Nothing major, but yeah, quite a bit to show that it's not a done deal that we head down in a direct fashion. But we didn't expect it to head down in a direct fashion. Remember what I said, that this is most likely going to be an ending diagonal here on the way down following the white wave count. And ending diagonals are very choppy. So could be that this third wave is already in. Doesn't seem right, doesn't look right, but it could be, because if this was just the A wave of the third wave, it came down quite a lot.
But before we dive deeper into the analysis, first a few words about the sponsor of today's Bitcoin video, Chartprime. Chartprime is a service that provides specific TradingView indicators. There are 5 specific and unique indicators that you can only get through Chartprime if you sign up to one of their plans. These are based on quite complex algorithms and formulas and can be helpful in identifying trade setups, which means they can provide additional signals that could support your trading. Indicators can, for example, also be useful to support Elliott Wave counts to give more confidence. Of course, you don't need to apply Elliott Wave to use Chartprime, and the combination of their indicators alone can provide trade setups and signals as well. They currently offer a 30% limited time discount, so if you are interested in this, check it out. Of course, bear in mind that no indicator works 100% of the time. Here's an example of the Bitcoin chart with one of the range indicators. This indicator combines various indicators in itself, so you can adjust it to your needs, but it basically shows your range resistances, different support resistance levels based on different time frames, and it categorizes them based on their relevance. And this indicator provides you with dynamic support and resistance bands to which the price is reacting. And if you're interested in checking it out, make sure that you use the link in the video description and on their website. You can also read through testimonials and you can join their Discord community, which you can join in case you have any questions about how to use those indicators.
But I'll leave the third here, leave it open. Maybe the third wave is still unfolding. But hey, let's start on the higher time frame. Let's just zoom out a bit. Let's look at this structure here. And we want to talk about this decline again, just to make a few things clear. At the moment, the view is, and obviously the lower time frame price action is very, very messy. So it is one of the messiest, structures that I've seen in a long time. So sometimes it might be worth to zoom out to get an understanding of the context. The context suggests still that we are currently coming down in a wave 2. That this rally that started on the 10th of March was a wave 1, a 5-wave move. We can debate about, this wave 1, did it maybe sit here? That's possible. And then we had an A wave down, a B wave up, and all of this is a C wave. That's possible, and that means, obviously the move down could nearly be finished. But the thing is, in our main scenario, the move down could also be nearly finished. So it doesn't really make a great difference. It may make a difference with regards to targets to the upside, and it may solve the problem putting the wave 1 here on the left hand side a little lower on the 30th of March high. It might solve the problem that the wave 1 here, if I put it where we have it primarily, it is quite long, whereas here it's not that long, which is actually a little bit more likely given the length of the higher degree wave 1, because normally you don't want the lower degree wave 1, which the yellow one is, to be round about the same length as the higher degree one. So just to explain that, if we take the length of that larger green wave 1, we compare it to the yellow wave 1, which is the wave 1 of the larger green wave 3, you can see this is longer than the 100% extension. Not great actually, because from experience it just means it's less likely than to be a wave 1. However, again, it doesn't make a great difference. and also this one would be the 1-to-1 ratio. So we'll leave it where it is, and as long as support is holding, which is down there at 22k, we are focused on higher generally. Yeah, this is bullish support. This is bullish support at 22k. Okay, so we rallied in a wave 1, then we're now coming down in a wave 2. Target for the third wave, we looked at that in previous videos. We talk about 40k plus, but it's not going to be an easy path to the upside. I think it's going to be a rocky road. Yeah, so just be aware of that. And that just has to do with the situation, how the wave 1 unfolded here, how choppy the entire price action is here. All right, so if we talk about, okay, this is the wave 2 to the downside, where are we? Now, looking at this wave 2, normally in a wave 2, we want price to reach the area between the 38.2 fib level, which is 26,660, that was already reached, and the 78.6 retracement at 22k. As long as 22k is holding, we can focus on this wave count and nothing changes. So it can use the entire space. Ideally, in a wave 2, we want price to reach the 50% fib level at least. The 38.2 would be quite weak. So ideally, I'd like to see price go to around 25.3k in this current correction. And it's on its way to doing it, right? It's at the moment, nothing suggests it wouldn't do it. So what else to mention? Yeah, I mean, we don't need another low though, because the entire yellow area is standard Fibonacci support for a wave 2, and it could turn around at any point. I'm counting it as an ABC structure, which would suggest one more low is coming. But if I count it as a WXY, which is also a scenario we shouldn't ignore, then the low could already be in. So basically when it hit here on the 12th of May, our trend reversal area, that was the first time in this correction where the low really could have been in with a high likelihood. But it means we need to see something that tells us the low is in, some kind of a signal. I don't see any signal. All I'm seeing at the moment is corrective movements to the upside, okay? So that's why we're still watching for another low. And now it's going to get interesting because this is such messy price action here at the moment. So it's extremely hard to say, where are we really going? I try to make it simple and say that as long as we stay below resistance, which is 27.7k, we focus on lower in an ending diagonal. The fact that we now see a bounce basically confirms that idea, because an ending diagonal is super, super choppy. So it's not a done deal, and there's no side clearly winning in an ending diagonal. So you need to be ready for up and down, up and down, up and down. Be ready for surprises. What makes it more difficult is that movement to the upside was corrective in 3 waves. Movement to the downside was corrective in 3 waves. And the move up again in 3 waves, move down again. So that makes it extremely difficult at the moment. And what also makes it difficult is that this is a wave 4. Wave 4 might still be in the making. We talk about that in a minute. And the wave 4 is always difficult as well, because in a wave 4 you can get flat patterns and they are just tricky. And I think a lot of things are coming together here at the moment. And we just need a bit of patience. So what options do we have? So primary expectation is still for another low. Either now or maybe after an alternative wave 4 top that goes a little higher. I already shared that on Discord and Telegram earlier today, so we talk about that now. But again, primary expectation is now lower. Obviously now it's coming up quite strongly again. I sketched out a trend channel here that's not very relevant, but it is just sketched out how this diagonal could typically play out. Below 27.7k, we can focus on the white wave count, which goes down directly. What happens if we break above 27.7k? Well, in that case, we could see a higher wave 4. That's one scenario. Yeah, the current drop leaves that option on the table. So it indicates that the move up could have been an A wave instead of a wave 4. The move down now, A, B, C, could have been a larger B wave. and we now move up in a C wave. If this is now going to be a 5-wave move, breaks above the wave 4 high, it could be this. We need to be watching for this scenario. So that's basically a scenario in which we have 3 waves up and then make another low. So the scenario would still be fulfilled that we have, it would just be delayed a bit. However, if we do something like this, so we make another high, okay, this, then we have 5 waves up. That's the red count. If you remember earlier in the video, I showed you the red count. I've since taken it off the chart, but it's still valid. What's the red count? The red count is also one that I would basically only really observe above 27.7k. So that we will always have probably like 2 scenarios, right? So at the moment we've got the white one and the blue one. But if we go above 27.7k, the white one will obviously be invalidated. Yeah, but then we will have the blue one and the red one, which will be the bullish count, which I have to change to red again. And it would be something like that. We would be moving up in a leading diagonal, yeah, which is still possible as long as we hold above that Friday low of the 12th of May, which was at 25,820. So this one is possible, but I will really only entertain the idea, which would be the bullish breakout count, by the way. I will really only entertain the idea if we break above 27,700. Yeah, so we only have, but I'll take it off the chart now because it's just a potential at this stage, but it will become real above 27.7k. I don't want to flood the chart with scenarios, so we'll try to pin it down to 2 at a time. That's why I said earlier, don't get too excited if we break above 27.7k. While it could indicate that a bottom is in, it could also simply just be here an extended 4th wave. So that's the unsatisfying situation we're in at the moment. Tomorrow we've got Jerome Powell speaking. I would double check the time actually, I haven't done that. But maybe that's going to be a catalyst for some volatility tomorrow, and maybe a catalyst for another low. One more thing to mention here is on the daily time frame, we just need to keep an eye on the daily relative strength index. We are already very low. It indicates that we could be bottoming at any time, but the lower we go, the closer we get to 30, the higher the chance that we find a lasting bottom, a lasting low. The RSI is currently again above 40 again. Earlier today it was already, we talked about, I think in the previous video, it was already around 37. So it has since recovered, but it would be typically, if we get on the daily time frame close to the 30 level, then this indicates a lasting bottom. Yeah, and that's the situation currently with Bitcoin. There is not much more to add at this stage. I think all the levels should be clear. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.